Leadership at Border Paws Animal Shelter has been under fire recently after a social media post came to light alleging animal abuse. There are also allegations employees who spoke out were wrongfully terminated. Over the weekend, the board of directors for Border Paws issued a statement to address the matter. It reads in part, "We are committed to transparency and accountability, and we will take all necessary steps to address any issues identified during our review process." Following the social media post, the Alberta SPCA was also alerted, and it has opened an investigation. Dan Kobe, Communications Director for the ASPCA, stated that all complaints are confidential and details are not released until it's appropriate. One longtime supporter of Border Paws, Dana Crawford from Groomer Has It, has made a statement that she's pulling her monetary support from the shelter until change is made. Transparency and accountability are essential for the effective functioning of any organization, especially one that serves a noble cause like animal welfare. Crawford went on to say, "It is imperative that the hardworking staff members who contribute their time and effort to the betterment of the SPCA are reinstated and treated fairly. I firmly believe that a complete overhaul of the current board is necessary to restore trust, transparency, and accountability." Crawford says she will still support the animals at the shelter in other ways and encourages people to continue to do so as well. At Rotary this week, members got a snapshot of the housing market here in Lloydminster, focusing on what our city has to offer to potential homebuyers. David Caden with EXP Realty spoke with the delicate balance happening in today's market.
We're seeing is the market is starting to shift. We're now close to a very balanced market where buyers and sellers are almost at an equal playing field, and the way things are going, we're probably going to see a seller's market in the coming months. That'll be dependent on what the Bank of Canada makes for announcements and interest rate cuts, if any, in the next few months.
Caden also highlighted that Lloydminster is getting a lot of attention from people from bigger centres who are looking for more affordable places to live.
The value you can get for a home in Lloydminster compared to places like Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto, Vancouver is exponential. People can get more bang for their buck. The only sacrifice they have to do is dealing with our winter weather.
When it comes to people from other provinces, Caden says they are usually looking for just one thing.
Not just for myself, but some of my other realtor colleagues have also said they are dealing with buyers who are coming from other provinces. And it's always the same story. It comes down to what they can get for biggest bang for their buck. Will they likely go back to those locations? Probably not, because this is where they're gonna set up shop, and it sets up the viability for a stronger community in Lloydminster for maybe the next generation.
Supporting women in business in the border city. That's the goal of a special conference being planned for June. We get more in this report.
I'm here with Jill Kelly from Red Bicycle Marketing, and we're talking about a special event that you have coming up in Lloydminster. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, we are hosting the Women in Business event, and it is going to be on Tuesday, June 4th, in the morning. For if anybody wants to attend, all the information is on our website at redbicycle.com/womeninbusiness. It's going to be a phenomenal event. It's all focused around helping budding entrepreneurs get into business, as well as encouraging women who are already in business as an entrepreneur or business owner to continue down that path and to kind of network and bring people together.
One of the really important things, I think, when you are in business, and especially if you're an entrepreneur, you may not get this as you would in a company, the inspirational things that often companies will have for their employees, training and special things that they do. So this is a really great thing, I think, to fill that gap.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely something that we have other companies bring their staff to, or be a part of as a sponsor or what have you. And so it's so fantastic to see other companies wanting to get together to help encourage women down the path of entrepreneurship, as well as it's a great, like you said, motivator for staff. The keynote this year is Mindy Hawthorne from Bricks and Shoes. And I don't want to spoil her speech, but it is going to be amazing. And I'm so excited to have her join us, as well as we'll have a panel discussion from past women in business recipients and finalists for the Chamber of Commerce Awards. And they're going to be having a panel discussion led by Wendy Pondowski, all about, what it takes to get to that level. And so it's going to be such a great event. I'm very excited for it.
And not to put you on the spot, Jill, but as a business owner yourself, how do you keep motivated yourself, and how do you pass that on to other entrepreneurs?
I think this is one of the big ways to do that, is to just simply get together with other entrepreneurs and other business-minded people and just even breathe the same air as them, learn from their mistakes, learn from your own mistakes and share those. We have a saying here at Red Bicycle where failure isn't bad as long as you're failing forward. And so what can we learn from those? And I think that being a business owner where it's just me, I'm the sole owner of Red Bicycle, I don't have a partner to bounce ideas off of. So getting together with other business owners, it really is helpful, and that mentorship that can be obtained through it. And even if you do have a partner or already a network of people, this is fantastic to expand that network and to even share your value back to the community.
I definitely understand, working in an office environment, you have other people to bounce things off of, or vent if you have a terrible day and, things didn't go your way. So yeah, I think having a good circle of networking people that you can touch base with would be invaluable.
Absolutely. And then studies show mentorship and connection is really a great thing for businesses of all genders, where it helps people to stay into the path that they're on and thrive so much better and bigger.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, Jill, thank you again for your time today. I really do appreciate you speaking with me about this event, and good luck with it. I hope we get a great turnout.
Yes, thank you so much. Hope to see you there.
The town of Bonnyville will be hosting a special concert this summer. It's being planned as part of the Cold Lake Air Show in July. Byron Johnson is a Bonnyville council member and serves on the events committee. He says Sass Jordan will be the headliner on July 20th.
It's going to be Sass Jordan, who's going to be performing, Juno Award winner. She was also named by Billboard magazine back in 1992 top female rock act, period, in North America. So we're really excited to have her coming to Bonnyville. And she has a really cool tie-in with Four Wing Cold Lake for Air Show weekend, as she was an honorary colonel back in 2012 at Four Wing for the 417 Squadron.
Bonnyville Mayor Elisa Brasso says they're happy to be part of the Air Show offerings this year.
We're really excited. We've been working the last couple of years to build a relationship with the base and have more of a presence here in the town of Bonnyville. So it being the first time that we're hosting this event, I think we're really excited and very proud to be hosting this for everybody who's coming out to watch the air show and just to participate.
And now we take a look back into the archives with this week's edition of Retrospect.
This week in Retrospect, we take you back to 1993 when the Thunderchild Band signs a land treaty.
Although the treaty was initiated in 1876, it took the Thunderchild Band in Ottawa 117 years to ratify it. The deal will see the band near Turtle Ford receive $33 million over the next 12 years. Thunderchild Band Chief Winston Weecock says there were some doubts about the fairness of the deal.
There are certain people who have felt throughout even our negotiations here that possibly we may be getting undercut somewhere.
Chief Weecock says despite the doubts, the vote was received well overall, with 97% of the band approving it. Northern Affairs Regional Director Myler Saville says the signing of the treaty signals a positive future for the band.
It will be that the band's trust account is now set up and they can proceed with their plans, particularly their land acquisition plans, and acquire the land that they so desire. and get into the market.
The $33 million will be used to purchase at least 38,000 acres of land. Chief Wiekusk says the band has future plans for any money left over.
The monies left over after the purchase of the 38,000 acres will be up to the band. Band development, we mean things like possibly a recreational facility, arena and band offices and things like that, and possibly some accommodations for people possibly on the reserve and maybe even in the urban centers.
Tammy De Silva, NewsHour.
And in 1998, local residents are urged to ration water usage amid shortages.
Manville residents are being asked to ration the amounts of water that they are using.
We requested people to refrain from watering lawns or gardens. We do have a shortage in our reservoir right now. Until that is built back up, we'll have them refrain from usage.
The combination of dry conditions and excessive water consumption have caused the underground reservoir to drop.
I think most people, and we do anyways, try to conserve water daily anyways, the way we live.
It's not only the public who need to keep tabs on their water consumption, local business is also affected.
We haven't been that busy, so I think our consumption right now is right under the 2% of what the whole town of Manville takes. We're presently getting filters into our system so we can recycle our water, and so our consumption will be very much at all.
Water. It's something most of us take for granted. Now, as Manville residents do their part to conserve water, we should all learn a lesson in trying to protect our most valuable resource.
If everybody uses it wisely, there's enough water to go around.
Brian Mudrick for NewsHour.
And that's all for this week in Retrospect.
Retrospect is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Find New Holland products at Webb's Machinery, your dealer in Vermilion, Vegreville, Lamont, Wainwright, St. Paul, and Consort.
After a solid start on the road, the Lloydminster Extreme returned to the Hillmond Redden Arena for their home opener this past weekend. Our Thomas Wildman has a wrap on the events.
The Lloydminster Extreme started their home opener against the Crude lacrosse team. Both teams started out the game with some shutdown defense and outstanding goaltending, with only one goal coming from Dallin Hepburn to give the Extreme a 1-0 lead heading into the first intermission. The Crude had an excellent second period, scoring 4 goals to the Extreme's 1, giving the Crude a 4-2 lead heading into the final frame. The Extreme would mount the comeback in the third, with Jaden Plamondon's hat-trick goal giving the Extreme the lead. Brennan Blythe would score one more goal to help secure the 6-4 Extreme victory.
I think it was just keeping it within 2 going into the third. Our defense and goalie, they played great, so our offense had to get going, and then we started to click, and then it was over from there.
Riker Gamble's main job for the team is keeping the ball out of the net, but he also frequently appears on the score sheet, helping the team out with 2 assists in the win.
We've been playing together forever now, and we've been doing that pass forever, and it's just most of our goals are coming from transition now, just throwing it down, so it's really helping our team.
The game got a little nasty near the end, and head coach Graham Murray was happy with the toughness the team showed.
We preach team toughness, and we don't have a guy that's going to go out there and fight every single night. But Lockie stuck up for himself, and then Morgan stuck up for him too. So as together, you like to see a team together like that. And I thought we did great in both those fights, and they really it really gave the boys a spark to kind of give us the final push.
The Extreme then finished off the home opener with a 9-3 victory over the Sylvan Lake Yetis, improving their record to 5-1 on the season and tied for first place in the division. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
Abby St. John is back in now to take a second look at our weather forecast.
Thanks so much, Leanne. We saw a gloomier day out today, a little bit on the chillier side, but we're currently sitting at 11 degrees here in Lloydminster, and in Alberta, 17 out in Cold Lake, 20 in Athabasca, 18 out in Edmonton, 16 in Red Deer, 14 in Rocky Mountain House, 12 in Jasper, 15 in Edson, and Whitecourt is sitting at 19. And in Saskatchewan, similar temperatures, 17 out in Prince Albert, 18 in Meadow Lake, 16 in North Battleford, 16 also out in Saskatoon, and 14 in Melfort. If we head up north in Saskatchewan, 17 up in Uranium City, 12 in Stony Rapids, 11 in Wollaston Lake and Flin Flon, 13 in South End, and 16 in La Loche and Buffalo Narrows. And in Alberta, 22 out in Fort Mac, 16 in Fort Chipewyan, 18 in High Level, 19 in Peace River, and 15 out in Slave Lake and in Grand Prairie. Down south in Alberta, 18 in Medicine Hat, 19 in Lethbridge, 10 in Coronation, and 15 out in Calgary and Banff. And in Saskatchewan, 15 out in Kindersley, 18 in Swift Current, 21 in Moose Jaw, 20 in Regina, 22 in Estevan, and 10 out in Yorkton. Overnight tonight in North Battleford, we've dropped down to 7 degrees, and those clouds will start to clear up as the evening goes on. 11-kilometer-per-hour wind, so that won't be too major of a factor. Overnight tonight in Cold Lake will be partially cloudy skies, 7 degrees, so it will feel a little bit chilly. 9-kilometer-per-hour wind, so that also won't be too much of a factor. More overnight temperatures across the region, 7 in Meadow Lake, Provost, and Paradise Hill, 8 in Bonnyville and Isle Cross, and Isle Cross has an 84% chance of some showers this evening. Otherwise, the rest of the area will either be clear or partially cloudy. More overnight temperatures, 7 out in Murnum and Pierceland, and also out in Calgary, 6 in Unity and Wainwright. And then there's some chance of rainfall in Pierceland and Unity in the evening, and or a shower early in Pierceland, and then it'll start to clear up. And then there will be a couple evening showers in Unity and in Calgary. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster, 6 degrees will be our overnight temperature. Mainly clear, so those clouds will start to part as we go into the evening, 11 kilometers per hour. And then over the next 7 days, a high of 19 and a low of 8 for tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud. On Wednesday, a high of 17 and a low of 5, 80% chance of some rain. And then the wind will pick up in the evening. On Thursday, a high of 15 and a low of 4, mix of sun and cloud, mostly cloudy. And then on Friday, we're expected some rain in the morning with a high of 12 and a low of 3, so it starts to cool off. On Saturday, a 73% chance of some rain in the morning with a high of 13 and a low of 2. High of 13 also out on Sunday with a low of 5 and a chance of some morning showers as well. And then on Monday, we're back to a cloudy day with a high of 17 and a low of 5. That's a look at your evening weather forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Today I'm joined by John Locke, the chairman of the 4-H Expo, which will be taking place here at the Lloyd X coming up this summer. And so thank you so much for being with me today, John.
Happy to be here, Thomas.
And so for those who are unaware, John, what is the 4-H Expo?
So 4-H Expo is when all the clubs in our community all come together. We host it at the Lloyd X, and it's the 4-H clubs of, it would be the greater Lloydminster area, I guess you can say, from both the Alberta and Saskatchewan side. They all come together as their own club and compete with their year-long projects, whether it's beef, sheep, light horse, crafts, canine. We have a plethora of projects that the kids have been in all year that they've signed up through with 4-H, and they come and compete as their club against the other clubs and individually against the other members of the other clubs.
And you mentioned that there will be clubs from the greater Lloydminster area. Exactly how many clubs are going to be there for the 4-H Expo?
So I believe there is 17 clubs in total that are coming, and that's right from the multi clubs that have different crafts or cooking projects or canine projects, right to the ones that are single project clubs like the light horse clubs, or a few of the beef clubs are strictly those projects only. Yeah, I think there's 15 of them that are signed up to be coming to Lloyd Expo this year. So it'll be exciting to see them all come and be under one roof.
And so you mentioned all the variety of different clubs, so there will be various different disciplines on display. Just talk to me a little bit about where they're all going to be kind of located and what people are going to see at the 4-H Expo this year.
The one that takes up the most space and is the biggest numbered is the beef show. It would be usually we're considered, I don't know this for sure yet because we don't have our numbers of how many kids are coming and how many projects are coming. But traditionally, we are one of the biggest ones in Canada, being hosted here in Lloyd. So that's always exciting. The beef wise takes up the most amount of space and has the most amount of people in it. Those projects are heifer, cow-calf, 3-year-old cow-calf, and steer. So in those disciplines, you can, if you took a female heifer calf, you show her this year, bring her back next year as a cow-calf pair, and the year after that as a 3-year-old cow. The steers, you pick a steer in the fall, you hopefully get him to a finished weight, and then from there take him to the sale that'll be happening on the Monday of 4-H Expo, and sell them to whoever wants a deep freeze full of beef. Light horse would be our next biggest one. On Saturday, they compete in their equitation classes. That's showmanship, Western and English riding classes, I guess you can say. And then the Sunday, they do all of the gymkhana, which is the ones that are more fun. In the multi side of things, there's the sheep. They'll be fairly good sized numbered again. Once again, with the sheep, you can have your sheep that's your female sheep, bring her in, show her first year. Next year, you can bring her back in as a mature ewe with her lamb this year. Year after that, bring her back again. And with market lamb, same thing as the steer. Pick them here in January, February, and bring them and sell them in 4-H. Get them to a finished weight and buy some. Hopefully, somebody can buy it and wants them for the deep freeze.
And so, John, you mentioned that these members will be selling these steers and lambs on Monday. If someone is interested in buying an animal and or buying maybe half or a quarter of an animal, where is the best place for them to get more information and get them set up to buy what exactly they're looking for?
Yeah, if somebody's interested in a beef or a lamb or half or a quarter or something, feel free to reach out to the Lloyd Exhibition office and talk to somebody there. We'll be more than happy to put you in contact with some of these leaders or with an abattoir, local abattoir or butcher shop in the area that is buying beef here at 4-H Expo, and we'll have absolutely no problems getting you guys in contact with anybody that needs their deep freeze filled up. So
thank you so much for all the information, John, and good luck to you and the rest of the 4-H Expo committee on hosting yet another great show.
Perfect. Thanks, Thomas.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
I am speaking with Allison McBain today, and Allison has taken on a big task here to sort of explore the role of AI and whether human authors can do a better job than the AI. So what can you tell me about this concept? How did you come up with it?
Well, like most fun ideas, it came about from talking with a friend. So basically, part of my professional background is as a ghostwriter. So I tend to write pretty fast, usually about 40,000 words a week. So I was talking to a friend and we were talking about AI. And of course, AI is a huge concern for creators everywhere right now. It's the topic du jour. So basically, we're talking about how a lot of writers are feeling threatened by the advent of AI into the writing sphere. And so those ideas sort of meshed together as a way of one human, one author, getting, on a sort of platform and showing that an author can write almost as fast as AI, but hopefully much, much better.
Yeah, exactly. We've all seen examples where AI has not gotten it quite right, and something sounds so outrageous, and it's just one word that's wrong, or they've got the concept wrong. So there's a lot of room for error, and of course, everything you do is creative as well. So that's a big factor.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I won't say it's easy to write a book a week, but it's a lot of fun.
So when did you get started on this?
Just a few weeks ago, so I started on Global Book Day, which is, of course, a fun day that everyone around the world is talking about books. And that was April 23rd. And I'm going to be running this project through April 23rd of 2025.
Okay, so how is it working as far as once you've got that book written? Do you have a goal in mind as far as how long it's going to be, how many pages, etc.?
Well, it has to be for the project itself, it has to be over 40,000 words. But for the books themselves, that will vary. So as I started getting into it, the books were on the shorter end. They were over 40,000 words. But probably for some of the genres, so I'm tackling lots of different genres, not just one. So for some of the genres, they're going to be longer, maybe 60, 70,000 words.
I was actually going to ask you that next. What types of books are you writing?
Yeah, all different kinds of fiction books, with one nonfiction book at the end. And that's basically to chronicle how I'm going about this and actually do a how to so other people can figure out how to write fast and write well.
So for anybody that's watching this, could you have a few quick tips? I do it every day in my daily work as well. I have to be fairly quick, but do you have some tips on how people can do that?
Definitely. The number one is preparation. So I'm not just sitting down with no idea of what I'm going in for. I actually, part of the preparation before I actually started this project was to write full chapter by chapter outlines, summaries of what the books are going to be about, character sketches. So all of that is in a folder. I didn't write one word of the book yet, but I know exactly where I'm going. And that gives you sort of a roadmap of where you're going to be going each day. So you can just sit down and write.
So key to this is extreme organizational skills.
A little bit.
All right. Is there anything else that you can say about this project? Like, is it a learning process for you too? Are you finding some things out about yourself as you go?
It is. Actually, I have written in a lot of genres so far, mostly in short fiction. I do have a few books out there. So it's fun because I am tackling over 30 genres and subgenres, some of which I don't have a lot of experience writing. So I'm learning as I go on the job, sort of. But there are some that I am very comfortable with. But I love the challenge. I love the challenge to be like, you know what? I've never written a Western. I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, actually, in my daily work, if it's a story that I'm really passionate about or find very interesting, I find it much easier to write it. It goes much quicker and it's done. And a little bit more of a struggle when it's subject material that you're not really keen on. So I can imagine the challenge that you would have with that.
It's a lot of fun, but half the fun of writing, I mean, as writers, we're all readers too. So half the fun is learning something new and being able to do research, which is basically just reading. And that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think you're actually doing my dream job right now. So thanks for doing that. That's all I have for questions for you. Is there anything you want to say?
Just the impetus behind this project was also inspiration. So I hope that it's very inspiring to other writers. One thing that I heard a lot from writers, especially new writers, when I was talking about this project is that they were concerned about AI and thinking, why should I even be a writer? And I'm hoping to combat that attitude because I think that, and I'm putting, my money where my mouth is pretty much. I think that we are writers because we love it. We're doing this because we want to be writers because we have to be writers. And so I think that if this inspires one person to say, well, you know what, I'm not going to throw in my pen. If she can do it, then I can do it too. Like maybe not 52 books in a year, but I can do what, like that is fabulous. That is one of my main goals for doing this.
So for people who want to find out more about your project and what it is you're trying to achieve, where can they go for more information?
For this one, it's exactly like the name. It's authorversusai.com. And that has all my social media links and also my email address. So if you'd like to get a hold of me and let me know maybe a genre that I forgot and you'd like to see, just shoot me a message and I'd be happy to chat with you.
I'm so looking forward to seeing what you produce and maybe checking in with you in 6 months to see how things are going.
Oh, fantastic. I'd love that. Thank you so much for having me on.
You're very welcome. Thanks for your time today and best of luck with your project.
Thanks so much.
That is all the news that we have for you this evening. Thanks so much for joining us and have a good night.